Hey folks, hope everybody's doing fine. Y'all see the title here. Now, this a CEO biotech company gets clocked by an illegal Slav. I think he's Russian, but we'll hear the story here. But anyway, why are you taking an Uber? I don't know. Well, maybe he was out of town. Maybe he lived in this place and he was there and taking Uber and whatnot. Yeah, I guess that could be true, but I don't know, man, because you're a biotech CEO. Somebody ought to be telling him, not this Uber incident. You're on somebody's radar because you're very valuable. And mofos will disappear. You won't actually disappear. You'll be relocated somewhere else because your knowledge and your reach and stuff like that. Because biotech, of course, is easily weaponized. But let's go ahead and go. I just had to get that. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get my guy up on the screen. This is from Fox News. And hey, where's my screen? Oh, there it is. And we're going to let it go ahead and play. We'll stop it a couple of times and whatnot. I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. All right. All right. Let's get it.
Welcome back. So our next guest is suing Uber after a shocking attack, which was all caught on camera. Take a look at this. An illegal immigrant driver was seen sucker punching him in the face and knocking him out.
Okay. Dang, we just barely getting in. Man, you hit pause and it just goes to the big screen. You gonna let a dude walk up on you. Apparently y'all exchanging words. And he has a service dog. I think it's a service dog. But anyway, we hear it and homeboy wasn't having it. And he clocked him. Now, I mean, to me, that's chicken poo. But I'm looking at what homeboy driving. This illegal alien from Slavistan somewhere over there. I'm quite sure they're going to say that's not a cheap car. That's not a cheap car. I know what this is. It was newer than the one I had a Quattro, but I was living in Germany. So having a Quattro, having an Audi in Germany is like having a freaking Ford here, you know, so, but, anyway, you can't let somebody look. Being a man, always know there's always a threat of violence. That's the difference between dealing with men and the average man and average female. The average man, there's always a threat of violence. You know, and violence breeds violence. I know, I get it, but you can't let somebody invade your space and get close enough where they can put their lips on you and your guard ain't up. A total stranger.
That attack left him hospitalized with a brain injury, and he is now here to join us and tell us all about what happened here. His name is Brian Coble, and he's the CEO of TC Biopharm. Brian, thanks for coming on this morning. We're glad you're okay right now. Before we get into talking about the suspect here, just fill us in on what led up to this. There's no audio in that video, but we see the guy just get out of the car, you're holding your dog, and then he just clocks you in the face. What happened?
You know, it was a very innocuous.
I guess ain't nobody tell Dimitri. Well, Dimitri, I ain't saying, I'm just using the name, a general name. Dimitri should know. Just like in Russia, you know, well, no, take that back, because in Russia, there isn't cameras everywhere like it is in the United States and the UK. But certain parts of the bigger, you know, place St. Petersburg, Moscow, Minsk, and whatnot. You got a high chance of getting caught on camera. But somebody, I guess Dimitri being Dimitri, I guess.
Get out of the car, you're holding your dog, and then he just clocks you in the face. What happened?
It was a very innocuous interaction. We had gone to get in the car, as is typical. I leaned in with the service animal to ensure that he was okay with the pet being with me. He said, no pets. I said, she's a service animal. We clarified that. He objected 2 more times, at which point, which happens regularly, I told him, look, cancel the ride and we'll move on. Right?
What did you say to him, dog? What'd you say to him?
We walked around the back of the car. Next thing I know, he's out of the car in my face.
Now, when I say what did you say to him? Don't trust me. I'm not trying to give a pass to homeboy headbutting him, then clocking him. Not in the slightest. I wouldn't do that. But man, everybody ain't American. And I probably, once he started talking, something should have clicked with you, like, this ain't your garden variety white dude. So, but anyway, let's go.
Put my hand out saying, get your car, and that's it. Next thing I know, I'm on my back in the hospital.
And here's the profile on this guy, if we can pull this up. He's an illegal immigrant from Russia, 42 years old. He illegally crossed into the sanctuary state of California back in 2022. Then, as usual, was caught and released into the U.S. by the Biden administration. After he attacked you, he was arrested for second-degree assault and battery, then was released on a $10,000 bond. But he is now in ICE custody, and ICE is seeking back to you. He was arrested for he illegally crossed.
Joe Potatoes, I'm not Italian, but wait a minute. Who was in charge? Joe Potatoes. Joe frickin' Potatoes. It's always Joe frickin' Potatoes. Potato, you say potato, I say patata. Joe Potatoes. He come through Donnie, California stand. Gee, imagine that. They get him, let him go. Just let him go. Fuck it. I say, look, I'm telling y'all, this invasion was planned by the Democrat Party. Joe Potatoes was along for the ride. If I had to bet money, he was along for the ride, because we all know Joe Potatoes wasn't all freaking there. Even the people that vote for him admitted, man, Joe Potatoes is freaking potato. He wasn't all there. So who was driving the bus? Because he was definitely just a passenger on the bus. He couldn't even ride a freaking bicycle without falling over. This was planned. I ain't talking this individual Uber driver. I mean the whole schmear. This was planned. I'm going to bring them in so fast that you're going to spend your 4 years trying to chase mice around your kitchen, or running over your kitchen counter and over the floor, that you ain't going to be able to keep up with what the cats are doing in the next room.
What's up?
But listen to this series of events again.
An illegal immigrant from Russia, 42 years old. He illegally crossed into the sanctuary state of California back in 2022. Then, as usual, was caught and released into the U.S. by the Biden administration. After he attacked you, he was arrested for second-degree assault and battery, then was released on a $10,000 bond. But he is now in ICE custody, and ICE is seeking to deport him. You found all that out after the fact. What was your reaction?
I was shocked. Uber is a $200 billion company. When you get in a car with the Uber sticker on it, it carries that brand weight. It carries the trust that you have in that brand. They imbue it into these drivers. So you would have assumed, and I had up until that date, that they do background checks. They vet these individuals, that they've got a stringent process that's difficult to evade. And apparently that's not the case. So I was taken aback, and it made me wonder, how often has this person done it? How many other times is this going to happen? And how do you change that narrative and fix this so that it doesn't happen to somebody else?
And then I understand after this happened, Uber suspended your account while the driver was allowed to keep driving, even though you provided hospital records showing what happened. Fill us in. What did Uber do? How did they handle this?
Damn.
Yeah, in fact, he picks up an Uber ride about 2 minutes later after leaving me for death, respectively. So when I got out of the hospital, I realized my account had been suspended. I corresponded with Uber. I sent them the hospital records. I sent them the police report. I actually sent them the contact information for the detective who was working on the case at the time, as well as had them speak to an eyewitness, and gave them my account along with pictures of the actual injuries. About 48 to 72 hours later, Uber just deactivated my account. So it appears to me that this is sort of their MO, right? Which is put yourselves, your end users, your riders in a dangerous situation. If something bad happens, disavow any sort of liability, any responsibility, any accountability. Throw your hands up and say it's got nothing to do with us, and then vilify the victims and attack us. And that seems to be their process. And that's a very immoral way to go about your business, especially when you're a multi-billion-dollar global organization. You would think there would be a little more interest in humans out here.
And real quick, just want to tag out with what Uber is saying about all this. They say, quote, "There's no place for violence on the Uber platform. While we can't comment on pending litigation, Uber is deeply committed to safety and complies with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations around worker eligibility." Brian, got about 10 seconds left here. Just looking for a yes or no. Have they reached out to you to talk about any potential settlement here?
Not even a little, and that'll tell you exactly what that statement that they lay out really means, right? What commitment to safety do you have if you're unwilling to speak about safety here?
Yeah. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. Wishing the best for you and your health, and please keep us posted on how that lawsuit plays out.
Thanks for having me, Bill. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
I'm willing to bet you that he's probably going to sue them. That's what my brain is saying. But that's just my brain. Speaking of my brain ain't freaking working because my brain didn't turn on my talking points with Nick Taylor spinning cube. But we're getting out of here, so turn it off. Ah, boy. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think he should sue? He should let it go? I mean, he got a concussion. He was in the hospital, blah, blah. It's an open thing. They got video. They can see that he didn't, that he didn't hit first or hit second. It was a hit from the Russian and then you hit the ground. The guy's here illegally. Uber got a legal alien driving a nice ass freaking Audi wagon. I'm telling y'all, that's an expensive car. Where is he getting his money from? See, that's the stuff to always see. You ain't affording to drive no Audi wagon, no turbo wagon on Uber. Oh, well, he just using that to fill in. Okay. What does he do? Wait a minute. He's an illegal. He don't have a social security number. He shouldn't even be driving freaking Uber. I don't know how you become. Hey, if any of y'all that drove for Uber, let us know the process. How to get set up with Uber. Please let us know the process. Hell, I'll do a live stream and I'll bring y'all up and y'all can tell it to the world. And we, of course, we won't use your Uber name because we don't want them coming after you. We won't call you Joe Potatoes, but we'll give you another name. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think he should do something or not? And the dog didn't help either. Just gonna stand there and watch the boss man get clocked. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.